Oh, I'm just setting up my camera for the pipe work and I stepped back, disappeared up to my ankles in this mud. Oh my god, I think this is a bit wet now. I think I've got to stop putting water on this sand. So another problem to overcome, unfortunately, which is irritating me beyond belief really. Everything that's been done while I was away has been done to a very poor standard. So I said I would be in charge of plumbing and I would lay this pipe that I've exposed here. But no, somebody else did it and stuck it out into what will be the kitchen. The reason I wanted to do it was because this joint has actually got to be made directly underneath the ring beam, which is impossible to do after the pipe's been laid in the way it had. So I had to cut it off there with the intention of making my joint to go underneath there and then joining the two pieces of pipe, which in theory is fine. But this pipe is a different size. This greeny pipe is a different size to the blue pipe fractionally, which means that all the joints I've got are loose. And I did try and stick this to the joint, and unlike normally when you stick two pipes together with glue in this country, they bond within literally 10 or 15 seconds. You've got very little time to position them if you have to fiddle about with angles. Well, I left this for 5 minutes and then I just pulled the joint off, so there's no way that's going to be satisfactory. We're going to end up with leaks all the way along. So I then decided to expose this pipe to see how it was fixed to the other end, and it's one of these with a splayed end, so it fixes over another pipe. But as you can probably realise, the flow of water is in the wrong direction to use that type of joint, because if there is any play in those pipes, the water's going that way and it's going to be able to come out of the joint there somewhere. It's alright if the water's going in the other direction, because it's gone past the joint before the the problem with the joint would be actually exposed. So I've got to cut that pipe off. It is quite firmly stuck on there, probably because of the shape of the splayed joint, as opposed to one of these types of joint. So it's another thing to do, and Suntray's got to go and buy a blue pipe, and she's taken a joint with her to make sure that it's tight to that joint. Yeah, so that one and a couple of others can go in the garbage as far as I'm concerned. A load of rubbish. Well, we've got a lightning storm right overhead now. Oh, there was a frightening one just then. I'm very glad that I'm actually dismantling this joint. It looks a mess, doesn't it? But that's because I've been cutting it and then peeling it back. But I found that this piece here is peeled back all in one. There's no adhesive at all. It's just opening like a tin. There's a bit of adhesive here, but I think generally, and there was no adhesive around the back where my finger's going now along the joint. I managed to peel off this adhesive that was stuck here, but it was only at the top, as if it was applied afterwards. So that was definitely a very vulnerable joint. I've got a little bit of work left to do to get it out and clean the light blue pipe up, but we're almost there. Hooray! That's one irritation out of the way. Relatively simple to do, just awkward because of its position. Post-mortem on the bits. You can see that's a substantial part of that pipe. Absolutely no glue on it, and also this part here. A little bit was catching the light blue pipe, but generally that just peeled off very, very easily, and that is actually a slither of the glue from around the light blue pipe. It hasn't bonded the pipes at all, it's literally just sort of filled the gap. So that all sort of peeled away quite nicely once I'd got a couple of cuts in it with the hacksaw to get some leverage. So I'm very fortunate I haven't damaged that blue pipe, haven't cracked it or anything, so I'll just give it a good rub off with some sandpaper just to get the residual glue and marks smoothed off a bit, and then we're good to go to put a joint on there. Well, I'm getting there. Oh, I've got the power tool now for cutting the pipes, so that's making life a little bit easier. This joint, unfortunately, this dividing joint is right underneath where the beam is, which is why it was necessary to mess about with these pipes and start again. So I'm going to just do a little bit of pipe work around here now and go up here, and that will be the washing machine outlet, and then I've got to go up there and up there for the sink. Almost done. It's getting very late now though, it's about 5 o'clock now, so only about an hour and a half left of daylight, and I am so slow. So it's the next morning. Remember these two chaps, these two little babies from 2 months ago? Big boys now, big lot of trouble as well. They're being house trained at the moment. Trained not to go in the house, that is. So last night I didn't get the pipes finished as I wanted to, so we're on day 2 of doing this little bit of a job. So I'm going to crack on, see if I can get this finished in the next hour. I'm getting a bit fed up with it.